Gregory Robertson Jr. and I'm going to be presenting today my video and reflection presentation. Standardize the format. Clip 2. My key learners from Standardize the format was efficient data gathering, efficient observation, and lessening disruption and identifying trends. With standardizing the format, learn that you were able to effectively go through the classroom, and while you're observing your students working, you can also be collecting data to see how they're doing as they progress through the lesson for the day. With this type of tool, you basically setting up your materials in such a way that as you scan through the classroom and look at their work, everything is in the same place. Whatever you're asking of your students at the time, you're having them marked in a certain area or in a specific chart or some type of way, some packet where you can identify quickly and efficiently what those trends may be and how they're progressing through their work. How I was impacted by the information. It increased my awareness on the data gathering and observation. For a long time, I've always wondered how teachers, when they walked through and they scanned the room, I didn't know that it was an actual technique. I thought it was just something that they did, just to check on everybody and just to make sure you were working. But through this information and through this video clip, I was able to see and recognize that the teachers are actually gathering data and observing to make sure the student is actually getting the information and learning the lesson that's being provided. And it provided ideas on how to be effective. In the video clip, I noticed that as the teacher scanned the room, she was gathering information and picking up on different trends, making corrections where need be, and also challenging students. What will I take and implement as a teacher, and why? I would definitely design my material to where I'm looking in the same place, because I do want to be effective while I'm walking through my classroom, observing students working and being able to check their work and see where they're at as far as how they're progressing. Are they getting the material? Can we redirect them? And doing it in a timely fashion, collecting a lot of data and being able to do it swiftly, moving through the room without interrupting the class to stop for certain issues that I may see along the way. I can correct it with everyone after I've scanned the room and observed. And I can challenge my students to try to do the work on their own instead of asking for my help. As I noticed in the video clip, someone had an issue. There was a question she proposed, hands went up, and then she also gave them the signal to continue working without her help, try to figure it out on their own and really work. And she can scan and keep going through the room, looking in those same places for the data that she needed to make sure she can effectively progress on in the class without disrupting the lesson and still being progressive. Personal and professional reflection. My awareness was definitely increased after watching this clip and gaining this information in the text. Just being able to effectively gather data for my class and be able to help my students by seeing things at a quick pace, by looking in that one area on the design material. It provided ideas and techniques for professional use, different ways that I can have them put their work in a certain area for my eyes to see it quick and make the correction, like I say, as a whole body for the class and individually if need be, but I can do that real quick and make it a whole class thing as well. And it just improved my understanding as a whole, as I said before, I always thought that teachers were just observing the class just to make sure that we were doing work and not looking at how effective we were being in our work. So now moving on to affirmative checking, clip 6. My key learnings from affirmative checking was certain specific points for confirmation, check off swiftly and move on, increase awareness of progression level, and build culture of error. And with affirmative checking, you're inserting those points for confirmation um, that the work is correct and that the students are being productive in the lesson. And then you also, once you check it off, you want to check it off quickly and then move on to the next thing. You don't want to stay on it too long. You want to make sure you're checking it quickly, giving them something that confirms the correctness, and move on so the student can continue to increase their knowledge on the lesson and move on to the next point. And it also increases my awareness as a teacher. It increases awareness of the level of progress that the students may be on the lesson. If they're making mistakes, I can quickly assess that mistake has been made, something wasn't correct. You may need to go back, as I noticed in the clip, and just build a culture of error. Providing an opportunity for the students to see that, hey, there's nothing wrong with it. It's okay to get it wrong, but let's still fix it. We can find a way to fix it. How was I impacted? I learned effective approaches to using tickets. I thought that was rather interesting because I've heard a lot about exit tickets and entry slips and things like that for coming into the class and leaving the class, but never really using the tickets during the class for a lesson. So that was a nice thing I learned, and it impacted me a lot. So I can be able to use tickets during class or other things similar to that. Gained understanding to be swift. In the video and in the text, it spoke on being able to be quick about showing the checking for correctness, and then also moving on to the next thing. Not so to speak as moving on so fast that the students don't get it, but giving everyone a chance to get it correct, and if mistakes are made, give an opportunity to correct it. And which moves me to the point of reminding is to maintain quality. I noticed in the video and in the text it mentioned you want to be quick with checking for us to not lose your class, participation and focus. But you also want to remind your students not to move so fast on the work. You still want quality work, and they will only be able to move forward by providing quality work rather than just trying to finish the work fast. What I would take and implement as a teacher and why? I would definitely probably be using the use of tickets. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a pretty cool method in the video when she used the tickets, corrected acknowledged students being correct, and sent them to the next thing. The students seemed very eager to get their ticket done and get the right answer so they can move on to the next challenge. And this moves me to this point, challenging students to provide quality and then using different checkoff methods. In the video, I noticed that the teacher, she really did a great job with being able to get a student. He came up, he did his own problem, but she told him, hey, you still have to give me this, you still have to do the problem that I provided. And when she's doing that, that shows that she's giving them an opportunity to give quality responses and not just doing work to get finished. So I think that was pretty cool, and I would like to implement something like that with my teaching. And I can use different types of checkoff methods other than tickets, and just something to be creative, thinking outside the box. personal and professional reflection. It provided a lot of ideas. This information provided different ideas for checking. Um, I gained understanding on effective checking, and it improved knowledge on creativity with checking. Once again, it just really put me in the mindset of, okay, when I'm checking, I need to have something to help students confirm their correctness, while I can also check for productivity and see what their level is. And then I was just gaining an understanding on how to be effective by doing that. Like I said, the perfect example was using tickets and just improving knowledge on being creative with checking. You don't want to lose the classroom, and you want to set a nice little classroom culture and environment that's fun, and sometimes a little fast paced to keep students engaged. And I think this video clip showed how ways that I can do that and implement that in my professional work. Moving on to no opt out, clip 9. My key learnings from this clip was to turn I don't know into success. No opt out establishes expectation, and it benefits those that don't know the answer and those that do. Um, Turning that I don't know into success is the biggest thing with the no opt out. A lot of times students tend to have that mindset of I'm just gonna say I don't know, and maybe they'll skip past me. But no opt out challenges a student to still find the answer and to be able to hear that answer come from someone else. You coming back to, like, you asking someone else what the answer is, and then going back to the original person who told you I don't know, and giving them an opportunity to answer correctly and get it right. It establishes that expectation because you're showing the students that you're not gonna just let them tell you I don't know and let it slide off the back, but you're gonna keep on pushing them and challenging them to perform at a high level and to work on getting it right, practice getting things right, and then letting them know that it's okay if you don't know. We can help you get there. And that's how it benefits those that don't know the answer. It benefits them because they can hear the answer coming from others. It makes them feel a little more comfortable that, okay, the teachers allow me to get the answer from someone to help me find out how to get the answer. And then it moves to the people that do know. You can call on the people that do know, and it helps them, and it gives them a sense of being helpful to their peers, and they can work with their peers and show them how to find the answer, or can help them with getting the answer. So now it brings everybody up to speed and up to a similar level of awareness and performance. How was I impacted? See, it provided a way to establish expectation. I really like that no opt out technique because that's something that is big on my mind as far as preparing to become a teacher. I just want my students to be able to know that I'm going to expect a high performance from them, and I'm not going to take I don't know as an answer, and I'm going to handle that, in a very fair way and fun way, but still get the quality of work that I would like to see from them. Reminder that small success is powerful. As it spoke on in the text, sometimes we forget that small success, is huge. If a student is allowed to get something wrong and know that it's okay to get something wrong, but listen, let me show you how you can get it right, and they hear someone else give it to them, and then now you asking them again, and they repeat that right answer. It makes them feel good. It gives them a sense of, oh, okay, I got this. I know. Now I can continue to learn it on my own, or improve. So now I can turn into the person who's helping give answers. And it provided an example of how to respond to push back. Sometimes students are gonna push back after you ask them again. They still wanna maybe act like they don't know the answer or not sure how to answer, but you continue to ask other people in the class, and then there's a class effort to kind of get that person to respond, and then usually they'll respond and come around, and you can handle that by being just staying calm when the student gives a little pushback and doesn't want to provide an answer. Remain calm with them, but still being insistful that okay, I'm still gonna keep coming back to you until you give me something, and then the outcome usually works in the teacher's favor. What will I take and implement as a teacher and why? I will use this technique to establish expectation as I spoke on previously. I want to definitely make sure I'm establishing a high expectation method in my classroom. I will use this technique to help students that don't know the answer. I definitely want to help them improve and learn that hey, we're gonna practice getting it right. Even if you got it wrong at first, you'll get it right. And I want to help the students by benefiting the students that do know the answer and giving them the opportunity to expand on what they already know and help those that are maybe having trouble and make them feel confident that hey, it's gonna push them to keep knowing information, to keep wanting to get better at knowing things when they come to the classroom for those type of moments. Personal and professional reflection. I enjoyed this technique. It's probably one of my favorite techniques out of a lot of those that we've um, been assigned to look at, and just that I've looked at on my own through the book. Um, it's great for practicing getting it right. I love the concept of giving the students a chance to get it right because a lot of times students don't want to answer or will say I don't know or just stay quiet because they don't want to respond. They don't know the answer and they think since they don't know it they might get in trouble or it's gonna make them look bad. But this I think this technique will help a student understand that it's okay if you don't know the answer. I'm gonna give you a chance to figure it out, and we'll work this thing out together as a class and from student to teacher. And it improves the classroom culture. It just opens the door for you to have a little more fun with your students. Just show them that you are a teacher and you're gonna have that high expectation, but you can come down at a certain level and make them feel comfortable and show them that you can relate to them and still have high expectation for them. So I think this technique is just awesome for all these different things, and I really enjoyed that. And these are my references, and that'll be the sum of my presentation. Thank you.